Hey everyone, what is happening? Welcome to another episode of Comic Book Weekly, and we are your hosts. I'm Mike Spider Slayer, and next, passing it over to Brant Fowler.
What's up, everybody?
And say hello, Kat.
Hey guys, what's up?
And next, we have Chris.
What's going on, everybody?
Yes, guys, this is the weekly show, whether you're watching it on YouTube or you're listening to it on our audio version, where we talk about our favorite comics of the week, the most anticipated comics of the week. And I have my phone on, so now you're going to hear an echo. So we have all that great stuff for you. I don't think it was the biggest news week, but we still have some news to talk about this week, Kat. So I'm going to pass it on to you, and let's get started with everything.
I really tried, guys. There was very little news this week, but we have some stuff to talk about. So we're going to start out with actually the comic news, because I feel like that was the least big news here. So first we got DC not participating in Free Comic Book Day through Diamond. Doesn't mean they're not participating in the event. We don't know if they are or not, but they're not doing it through Diamond, which is, I think we saw that coming.
I mean, it's not really a surprise. They're not shipping with Diamond anymore. I'm positive there's going to be a book, but I'm positive the only people that are going to have it to ship out are, well, now DCBS. So.
Yeah, it's just strange though, right? It's like the first time ever that DC's not part of the official Free Comic Book Day offering. So it's a little weird, but yeah, it makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's coming to the end. I think we're seeing the beginning of some type of end when it comes to Diamonds, and I don't know, man. We said it before, things need to change, or definitely they're going to eventually, I think, go under. You're going to look at modern day times, and there's always something that replaces something else, right? And so Diamond, there's no exceptions to that. They're going to be better, stronger. It's just a matter of finding out the logistics, and eventually you're probably going to see them go away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So next, what are you going to say, Chris?
The only thing I'm going to say is what I've been saying since way back when Diamond was going and DC went to DCBS and stuff. I think the best idea and a way for and I know it's hard, especially because there's a lot of comic shops out there, but it would be great if every comic company would find a way to distribute their books through themselves. Honestly, it would get communication between the shops and the companies. It's hard. I know it's hard. There's a plus and minus to it. But I just think, depending on one company in general, no matter what company it is.
Yeah, it's just I can't imagine retailers being okay with ordering from 20 different places.
Yeah, that's the only downside.
And
like
the indies definitely.
Yeah,
all the
indies definitely wouldn't do well then.
Right. Yeah.
Well, maybe the independents have like one place, and then like DC and Marvel, maybe Image separate and IDW.
I still think that'd be a hardship on the indies, but I definitely see where you're coming from on it. I do think we need a better way, and talking directly to a company would be nice, but I don't see it in the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the next topic, which is that DC has heard us. Milestone books will be released on the same day digitally and printed, but that also means that Static is being delayed. But honestly, I'm very happy that DC didn't admit that their mistake, but they at least said, hey, we heard you guys and we're going to change this up. So I'm very happy about this, and it makes me want to try out these books a bit more. Like I was going to try out probably the issue ones of Milestone, but it gives me a more of a reason to buy them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was my main issue, is that they were all coming out digitally. And it's like us here on this show, when digital first books come out, we just always miss them or forget about them or whatever.
Yeah.
or we wait for the physical copy to come in months later. So I'm really happy that they're doing it that way, because it's more likely that I'll try them out that way.
So moving on to the last comic book news already is that Thor is finding a new artist. Nick Klein was on the book for about 14 issues or so, and now their new artist is Alessandro Vitti, and I mean the art looks great from the thumbnail that's on this Newsrama piece. I mean, yeah, I think it's cool that this artist was on Thor for such a long time in comics regards, and the next style kind of looks similar to his. So I'm interested to see what the artist will bring.
Do you have that image, Kat?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask for.
I will
I don't remember. I might have
share.
looked at it, but I looked at it probably a while ago and I forgot.
Right.
Yeah, no problem. All right, let's look at that image. Oh my God, you're seeing our doc, so crazy.
Those are
All right,
secret files.
That's the image.
Oh, that looks cool.
Oh, it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll be cool
after
to
reading
see
Thor
what
this
I can
week.
see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Colorist is still going to be there, right? It's just the artist that's changing.
From what I know, yeah, they didn't say there was going to be a colorist change.
Because I think if you have the same color scheme, I think it will definitely work. If you change the colors in the book, it'll have a completely different feel to it.
I agree.
So it looks pretty cool.
We keep getting these questions
Yeah, I
about
was gonna mention
Morrison's.
it.
Yeah,
I was kind of debating if I wanted to say it, but I'm seeing like 4 of the same comment now.
I honestly don't. I've seen people talk about it online. I didn't really see any reports about it. And
This
honestly,
one?
I don't.
This one?
Yeah, that one. I mean, there's multiple comics. There's literally all these comments about it.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
I mean, the only one that would care would be me, and it's Grant Morrison. So it's like I care, but I don't really like the Authority. So it's like it's guesting. I mean, it worked with Superboy and Suicide Squad, maybe. I mean, after the first issue, I don't know if it'll work with Grant Morrison, the Authority, and Superman. I don't. I'll try the first issue, but if it's legit, I mean, this is all rumors. I'm guessing still.
I just haven't seen like Newsrama report on it. Maybe they did and I missed it. It's been kind of a busy day.
Serenity
But...
said something. Serenity said it was leaked from.
Oh, so I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. That's not. I mean, yes, maybe it is true, but like, I don't love talking about stories until it's officially announced by the company.
Yeah, I mean, Grant Morrison's done Superman stories before, right? I mean, All-Star Superman. So, you know, I'm not the hugest fan of the Authority either, or Grant Morrison. So it's like, but
I'm not reading it.
Yeah, exactly.
I read
so
2 issues of Grant Morrison Green Lantern, and I had enough of that.
Yeah, there's not even a little bit that makes me want to read it. It's just like I don't. And again, nothing against Grant Morrison or Superman. I just like there's absolutely no interest on my side.
Yeah, it's just it's not our thing. If you're a big Grant Morrison fan, that's really cool for you though.
So we answered the question everyone was asking for that I didn't know was a thing, but there you go. So next up we have Loki getting a release date. So Winter Soldier and Falcon came out this week, which I've decided I think I'm gonna binge it. But Loki is coming out June 11th.
I'm really excited about that, and it's funny because Lisa was just asking me the other day, "When's Loki coming out? When's Loki?" And I was like, "I don't know." And then it dropped. And it's like, "Hey, it's June 11th. All right." So,
I just want to see buff Jane Foster. If she's not in it, I don't really care.
We'll be in the last episode, getting ready for Thor: Love and Thunder.
I don't even know if we'll see her at all, but I think we'll get some like name drop or something.
Yeah, everybody loves Loki though.
From Loki, like I'm so clueless about this show. Like it doesn't even get me really excited about it. Loki was never my favorite character in these Marvel movies, so I just don't know what to expect. But I guess like if it has to do with time travel and stuff, things could change, or I don't know. I just don't know what to expect. I'm kind of very clueless about the show, really.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it either, but I did really like Loki in the movie, so it's it wasn't like my most anticipated one, but I'm still definitely gonna watch it. Just because we're not talking about it real quick, and Kat's gonna wait and binge it. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I really liked the first episode. I know Mike and I both watched it, and I'm more excited for it now than I was going in, so that's a good thing.
Is Emily Van Camp awesome in it, or is she just?
She was not. She was not in this episode.
Yeah, I don't need to see this episode right away.
It was a good episode, though.
It's cool. I played it down to tease Brant because I was just like, oh yeah, it's kind of slow except for the end, And the first 10 minutes is just completely balls to the wall action. Like it was amazing, and you just get to see like Falcon and him flying and his suit and what Red Wing can do, and just really awesome introduction to the show, and kind of like Bucky's like mindset and where he's at right now.
Yeah, it's almost a PTSD thing with him.
Yeah, because exactly, and we're not really giving away too much of like actually, things that were said, but it's just like, think about it. He's been in war and in battle for Lord knows how long, and for the first time, he's kind of like at peace, and he's having a tough time dealing with that.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of military stuff in the actual episode. It was a lot of family stuff with Falcon, a lot of emotional stuff with Bucky, and then some action that started off, and then a big thing if you know your Captain America lore that happened at the end. That was like, okay, they're going there. All right, we'll see how that goes. So that was really cool. So I'm hyped for it now.
I will say I'm more interested in Winter Soldier and Falcon than Loki. And I know that's like a sin, and more people are interested in Loki, but I don't know. I think with Captain America as well, there's big moments that happen in the movie, and his legacy. With Loki, there's not as much there, in my opinion, but obviously I'm sure the show will be great. We also been getting a lot of questions about the Snyder Cut. I didn't watch it. I don't plan on watching it.
I don't care.
That's my thoughts. Yeah,
I don't care.
I've not watched it either.
I haven't watched it either. I don't have HBO Max, so I'm not going to watch it because of that. I might watch it maybe if it comes out on Blu-ray or whatever, but 4 hours is a lot to dedicate to just one thing. I know people binge watch shows all the time and things like that, but this is just one movie for 4 hours, and I don't know if it's enough change to warrant watching it. So
people are praising it. They think it's the best thing. This is what will come out.
But the people in the comments, is it, just let us know, was it worth watching?
Yeah, especially if you weren't the hugest fan of Justice League to begin with. I mean, it was better than Batman v Superman by far, but that's not a high bar for me personally. But that's my own opinion.
There was this one film analyzer on TikTok who said, if the Snyder Cut came out instead of the cut we got back in the day, everybody would have said it sucked then too. They would have said it sucked a little less, but people still wouldn't have liked it.
Yeah, see, that's my concern with it. It's like, do I want to spend 4 hours to watch just a little bit of a better movie?
I don't have time to watch things I want to watch.
Right. Exactly. There's that too, yeah.
You got to pick and choose. And again, nothing against the Snyder Cut, nothing against people who enjoyed it. It's just not particularly for me, and I don't want to spend my time watching it. But yeah, I'm glad people liked it, and I have friends who really enjoyed it. But
I mean,
yeah, me too.
Let's see some of the comments. Tevia says they show Dark Side. Last half is hands down the best. He's saying it was worth watching. So Mike Manhattan goes, speaking of HBO Max, are you guys going to see Godzilla versus Kong?
No.
I might in the theaters.
I might watch it. I might see it. It might be kind of cool to watch. Like it's a modern day version of these both these characters fighting. It might be kind of cool to watch it. Honestly,
it might be the movie
I'll probably watch it
in theaters for the first time in years.
I'll probably watch it. Lisa and I watched like the last few like monster movies or whatever together. So
here's the best comment so far when it comes to the Snyder Cut. The Russian family isn't in the Snyder Cut. Nothing Whedon shot was in the cut. That family not being in it, that's the best news I've heard all day. Because the one random family in that movie was the worst. I hated that. I was like, no one was else getting affected that they showed except this one little family. I always hated that about that movie. At least they took them out. Now no one affected human-wise.
I honestly don't remember anything about that movie besides that they needed to get that, the mother box that just seemed like a Rubik's Cube at the time. Wasn't a huge fan of it. But yeah, let's get into some more delays here. So we're going to get into that big Black Widow news, but Gotham Knights is delayed, the video game.
Yeah, I mean, that's not surprising, right?
Not
Everything's delayed these days.
Yeah.
No,
I guess
rather
that
it be
was. I
delayed.
didn't read the article, but did it have to do with COVID? People not being able to work on it, or did it really say?
I think they just wanted to finish the game. From what it's just like, to actually have everything done.
Oh, okay.
I would
So instead of
rather-
adding stuff to it later.
Right. I would rather that than they release a game that's not done and then they're like, oh, it's okay. Wait a couple of weeks or months and the game will be great. Yeah, no, people want it day one or else it's not going to be good. It's better to delay than to bring out an unfinished product. I
agree with that. Yeah.
Especially for a hyped up game like this, which looks great. I'm not even a video game, connoisseur, but it looks like a good video game.
I am, and Avengers was dead on arrival, and that's really sad because that game had so much potential.
Yeah.
So we also have some news about BRZRKR getting an anime and Netflix movie. Oh my god,
of course it is.
That's it.
Yeah.
This book is going to be worth $1 trillion now.
I swear.
Do people? I think it depends if this anime and movie is good. Like then,
Yeah.
like there's so many comic book adaptations. Like, is it even worth it in the market anymore?
I swear the outrage for this news was surprising to me. It's like, I don't know, that some people are still upset about them going to Kickstarter, I think. And now they've got this big deal and it's like it's even worse for them. It's like, I'm thinking they brought a lot of people to Kickstarter that might back my project later, so I'm all for it.
Let's be selfish about it. And you had the decision to back it or not. Like I do agree that I think they should have done some stuff to integrate themselves into the Kickstarter community a little bit better than they did, but they've been trying to rectify it for a little while. So I give them props for that. I think they could have listed their rewards differently. I think there are a lot of high prices. I think they maybe launched a Kickstarter too soon. There's a lot of promise items that you're not getting for like 5 years. But they spell it out for you. So if you believe that's something you want to buy, then a lot of people did.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not surprising it's going to Netflix, right? Not at all, like you guys said. So
the anime was kind of interesting. I didn't see an anime coming.
Yeah, and he's voicing it too. So
I'm not surprised there either. Come on.
Well, I mean, cartoon, but like an anime, like that's interesting. Like the style of that is cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Can you call it an anime if it's an American cartoon?
Animation.
I
guess.
I don't know. I mean, he could go to Japan and have them make the anime and then just.
I guess it depends on the studio that's making it, right?
Yeah.
I think anyway why it makes it so popular is because Keanu Reeves is doing it. I mean, that's obviously that's and being that the book just came out and they announced this, that's why also it's getting so much hype too, because it just kind of happened to be that this is all coming out. Remember, this book originally was supposed to come out a long time ago already.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it like before COVID? It was like around COVID? I don't remember.
Around
It was
COVID.
right
It was
after.
around COVID. It was around COVID.
Yeah, and then I think it got delayed like again, right? So I think it was supposed to come out a couple months ago though also.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are probably annoyed too for the overall reason people get annoyed of like, oh man, why does every comic book have to be made into a movie? Or do they only make comics for a pitch to make it an IP to make a movie? Is it actually there to be a comic? And I think that's a justified argument. It's like, did they make this comic because they love the medium, or did they make this comic because it's easier to sell at TV studios if it's an IP?
Right.
So yeah, I think that's a justified argument. And from what you kind of could see, they just made it a comic to make it the IP. I don't think they needed to make it a comic at all.
Right.
It reminds me of Radical. It reminds me of Radical when back in the day when they reached out to me. All their comic books, they claimed they made the graphic novels to become movies, and we got The Rock as Hercules. They also did.
They did one with Samuel L. Jackson.
They did one with Samuel L. Jackson, and then they did one with Tom Cruise.
Serenity goes, I don't even know what the book is about, which is true because basically you got this character who kind of just kicks some serious ass, doesn't he? In that entire first issue, and you don't really know anything about it. But like I said, this book was supposed to come out a long time ago, and we were supposed to know more. So it just happens to be that this is the reason. We'll see what happens.
Also depends how long. I mean, it looks like it's gonna be very long because they have like all these trades like ready as well. So I guess, they have a long-term plan for it.
Right.
So going into our last topic, which is the topic of the episode, which is that Black Widow is landing on Disney Plus, and this is moving the movie back a little further. And now it's going to be July 9th. But I think at this point we know we're getting the movie because it actually is releasing on Disney Plus as well, which they should have done a while ago, which would have been nice. But yeah, I'm interested to watch Black Widow finally, right?
Yeah. It's unfortunate that it's pushing everything else back too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I think what was it? Shang-Chi was supposed to come out when Black Widow is now. So now they pushed that back to like September, and there was something else. Venom.
Venom is released. It was November, right? Venom now.
I think. I don't
Or is that
remember.
the tail end of? I thought this is September also. I think it was September.
Yeah. Believe it was September. I deleted that news piece, so I don't have anything.
I remember the month. It was September.
It was September. Yeah. And it kind of makes you think, like, it's like, my gosh, when are movies ever going to get back to normal to where they get this regular release schedule and whatnot? And you know what? I just, as much as I want to see Black Widow, I don't know if I can. I guess you would spend the same amount of money at the movie theater, but I didn't do it for Mulan. I waited for Mulan until it came out for free, and I watched it then.
Oh, I still haven't watched it.
It's not.
I didn't mind it.
You liked it? I hated it. I hated it.
I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool.
I was so bored with it. But no, there's certain, like, I paid $30 for Raya, and but we watched it as a family, so I was like, okay, I would have paid more at the movies, I guess. And then, same thing for Black Widow. I'm sure we'll watch it as a family or whatever, and then watch it. But I don't mind paying the $30. I definitely not going to a movie theater anytime soon. So,
no.
Which movie do you want to see the most out of those? Like Shang-Chi, Black Widow, Venom. Which one are you most interested in seeing?
Out of those three, I'm kind of interested in Venom, which is so Venom. Weird to say. Like, I know most people would say Black Widow, but Venom was just crazy enough, that first one. I want to see what the second one's going to do.
Carnage. Venom. Hands down.
Yeah.
Mine's Venom too.
I think it'd be Venom too. I like Shang-Chi, and I think it's cool that they're doing a movie of Shang-Chi, but yeah. Carnage.
And I feel like Black Widow, I just think is too late. And I'm sure it's going to be a fun movie, a solid movie, but it's just like we had WandaVision, we have all this other stuff moving into a new direction of Marvel. Like, how much is going to happen in that movie? So, Venom. I think that's going to be cool.
Yeah, I think I agree. Black Widow is a movie that is a great movie for after Endgame, but now that it's been delayed so much, it's kind of lost its steam. Like, people are probably like, okay, Black Widow's been supposed to come out like 3 years now, and we're still waiting for it. Who cares? It's almost like Wonder Woman. It was kind of like people were waiting for that, and then it kind of lost its steam. And then when it finally came out, I still haven't seen it, but people are just so disappointed by that movie.
It's 1984?
Yeah,
it's very bland.
Yeah.
And a little boring.
I don't know, but like I said, it's definitely disappointing that all these movies are being pushed back. And one day, like I said, maybe we'll get back to the movies again. But I just don't want to pay $30 for a movie on a streaming service. I just don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, I think that part definitely sucks, and I wish they learned. I think Soul was free. Like, they tried with that, and like, why not? You're paying for these streaming services.
Right.
But I guess Disney, they want to make their money, and they know they could get their money.
But I think like what pays it off is if, of course, yes, if you went to the movie theaters with your entire family and you paid that money, it would be like $50 or whatever it is. But if I just went to go see it by myself at home, $30, it's not worth it. Or even just me and my son, it's still not worth it because my daughter's not going to watch it. My wife could care less about it. So it's kind of just like it doesn't pay that way. It only pays if you have like 10 people at your house watching it at once.
And everybody puts in with it.
Right.
I was reading Serenity's comment, but hasn't popped. Oh, there we go. Serenity says, I wonder how many people are going to forget she's dead. My therapist totally forgot. How's she dead when she has a movie coming out? Well, she died in Endgame. I don't remember that.
Yep, she did.
That movie was so long. I guess for people that are not as like into the Marvel movies, maybe you would forget that she died.
Maybe.
It wasn't a huge scene.
It wasn't a long scene.
Yeah,
it was
wasn't
like it was a big.
yeah.
It was an impactful scene, but it's such a big movie that maybe you would forget.
Yeah,
there was a lot going on in that movie.
Yeah,
so I can understand that.
Well, Venom, man, that's where it's at. I just want to see Carnage. I want to see that whole like origin story of Carnage, and what happens there, and how this might tie into future movies. Like, I'm really excited about that whole side of things when it comes to like Spider-Man and all that, and who else could be possibly in the movie also.
Yeah.
So that's all the news, believe it or not. We're gonna get into some shout outs for our Kickstarter. So I'm gonna bring it over to Brant.
Yeah, so this week's shout out is a friend of the show, a friend of Kat's, a really good friend of Kat's and a friend of mine.
He's spent 16 hours working on my anthology, but we're not friends.
No, not at all. Phil Falco, who has actually been on the show before. So a big shout out to Phil, who actually has a Kickstarter going on right now for Haunting issue 3. So go definitely check that out. And Kat and Phil actually have a crossover coming up as well in a couple months. So
we do. If you back up the Dancer and Haunting at any level, we're going to give a 7-issue preview from our artist, Rafi, and we're giving a little bit of the script as well. We're super proud of the book. We're really excited about it. And that's coming out in a couple, like a small amount of months, like early summer. So We're super excited about it. It's really gearing up to being finished, which is kind of cool. We started that in October, November. So it's kind of surreal to get a 43-page interior book done so quickly with artwork and colors and all that fun jazz. So really, really proud of the story. So definitely go back up both Kickstarters so you can get an opportunity to see a sneak peek. Also, speaking of, go check out my Kickstarter. I'm going to screen share. I know Kickstarter is supposed to be down soon, so hopefully it's not down yet. So you guys could go back up my Kickstarter. The Dancer is about a high school girl. That's like father, like daughter.
You're on the wrong one.
Switch pitches.
It's about a young girl who's a dancer / assassin. And when she was little, she witnessed her parents being murdered in front of her and never dealt with that trauma until now. So definitely go check it out. And we are live for another 22 days, and we're 5 backers away from 300, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, this is definitely gearing up to be my biggest Kickstarter, and very excited to see where that last number will go. So hopefully you guys could go check it out.
That's really cool.
So
congrats on that. Yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then also, before we move into the comics, we want to remind you of our Batman giveaway, which is going on for another couple of weeks. You can go to comicfrontline.com/Batman. We'll take you there now. And that's just an easy one for you to remember to get there. But you get 10 comics and a trade or a graphic novel, softcover. A bunch of Battle for the Cowl books that Mike is offering this, so I'll let him elaborate. But it's a really cool giveaway, so enter it. And to get the most entries, rate and review us on iTunes, and that will give you 50 entries just for doing that.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice, it's pretty sweet giveaway, guys. So real quick, I'll go over the titles with you guys. Like Brant said, we got the Batman issue 106 wraparound cover, that variant cover. So that's one of the ones that you can win, right? You can get the Battle for the Cowl, the main story, the 1 through 3. You can get that. You can get the trade, Gotham by Gaslight. That's the other one that you could possibly win. All right. And then you have Azrael, Battle for the Cowl, issues 1 through 3. So you can win those 2. And then as well, you can win the Oracle, Battle of the Cowl, 1 through 3. So you can win all that stuff if you go on to where Brant told you to go. And how many days were left, Brant?
I think it's 13 days and a few hours. So next 2 Tuesdays from now is when it is.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, good luck if you guys enter. Hopefully, you win, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck and
Good
give
luck.
us a review. So, and even if you don't want to go in a giveaway, give us a 5-star review on iTunes. If Brant has the link, I'll share it in the chat for the iTunes link.
Give me 1 second, I'll get it.
And also, we do have the question from Mike Manhattan and a couple other people. Are we reviewing the Invincible Amazon Prime show? I don't know about reviewing, but I mean, if people ask us about it, maybe we'll talk about it if we get caught up. I don't know if I'm going to be watching it right away, but I'm definitely going to watch it at some point.
Do they release the whole thing, or is it 1 week at a time?
I don't even know.
Yeah,
I know Amazon
either.
Prime usually does binge shows. I know they usually do.
Yeah, usually. So maybe, I don't know though, but I'm definitely gonna, whether it's 1 episode or a bunch, I'm watching it when it
maybe
drops.
we should at least watch the first episode and we can at least talk about the first episode.
I'd be game for it. Just someone remind me when it comes out. Or
it's this weekend. Yeah, the 26th.
Oh, this weekend?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it for next week. Please remind me this weekend to watch it. At least the first episode I'll watch.
I believe it's Friday, but yeah.
I'm excited to watch the show. It's definitely not
3 episodes Friday, and then the rest are weekly.
Okay, so 3 episodes.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
I'm just worried it's gonna be repetitive as like the comics, because with the comics, I personally like the later chapters of Invincible. Like I enjoyed the first couple of issues, and it's a good comic. But I liked when it when he got older, like out of high school and stuff. That's when I really enjoyed the book.
It's been so long at this point since I've read it. I can't remember everything about it.
Yeah, it definitely seems from the footage that we've seen that they're going to be touching on the stuff with his dad and the stuff with I forget what the group of heroes is called now. It's been so long.
I don't remember their names either. There's somebody.
Yeah, so that's like the first, I don't know, 20 issues or so would cover all that, right? So at least that much is being
it's
covered.
Probably the first season. I mean, we'll see. Hopefully they give us some nice surprises for people that have read the comic before. Was there another question I missed? I don't think so. All right, well, we're going to go into the Under the Radar now.
All right, Under the Radar. This week, I am going to kick things off this week with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 115, finally caught up. Toka and Razor are in the comics. And that's awesome. And I think I talked with Brant before I read it, and he's like, Chris, you're going to like this issue. I'm like, oh, that's good. That's very good. When Brant says I'm going to like something that I already love, that's good.
Yeah.
It was good. The Turtles versus Toga and Razor. And then you have Jenica, and I forgot the woman fighting Bebop and Rocksteady, and then they end up colliding, and then Bebop and Rocksteady start beating up Toga and Razor. But even though they're big, they're still babies compared to Bebop and Rocksteady, who are adults. It was bad. Oh boy, it was so bad the way Bebop and Rocksteady were really beating up on Toga and Razor, and then Karai comes in and kind of breaks up the whole situation. And apparently there's a truce between Karai. Well, there was a truce since Splinter died, but now like all of them are getting together, and the issue ends with them going for a battle of the bands. Yeah,
to catch you up just a little bit, Karai and Toka and Razor, they were in I think it was a helicopter accident, and the Turtles saved her and were like letting her nurse back to health in their dojo, so that kind of like smoothed things over there.
And I know Jenica, there was the girl from the future said Jenica kills Karai and turns evil, so now we're making sure Jenica doesn't turn evil by snapping.
Yeah, exactly. It was a really good issue. This is actually my number 6. So just outside of my top 5, I really like this issue. The previous few in this arc have been a little slower for me. So I was happy to see it kind of pick up. And the battle between Bebop and Rocksteady and Toka and Razor was really cool. That was really fun.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm so happy to be back in the Turtles and caught up. Yeah. I need to read the Jenica mini, though. That's the one thing I haven't read yet. So I'll read that eventually. So, Brant, what was in your Under the Radar?
Mine was actually a book that I just picked up on a whim this time. I haven't read it at all since like issue 1, I think. But it was Catwoman issue 29. And I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I picked it up and I really enjoyed it. And it was this fun arc where she I'm trying to remember exactly what happened at the beginning. I'm forgetting the beginning, but anyway.
Really good, huh, Brand?
No, it was. No, because So she goes and rescues the Riddler. I'm trying to remember who from. That was there was like this mystery assassin girl that I don't know who she is because she wears this mask. We haven't seen her face, but she's been put up to take all these people out, the Riddler and Catwoman and so on and so forth. And it was a cop that came to her at a hotel and kind of pulled her into this, even though she was like not wanting any part of it. But anyway, throughout the issue, it's revealed that these people have poison ivy trapped in a tube and are developing these drugs based on her pheromones. So they're like doing this super, designer drug, pulled from her cells and everything. And Catwoman finds out about this at the end. So it was a really good issue, and it may have got me to start reading Catwoman now. So
I hope it continues on that stride.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, good luck. You'll have to keep us posted. I bought the issue myself. I didn't read it. I just bought it for the cover. I got that Jenny Virgin cover. That's the one I remember getting. Yeah. So
it surprised me. So
I've tried it a few times. Like, I've always gotten bored by it, or it didn't interest me for a very long time. So glad you like it. Like I said, you're just gonna have to keep us up on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Kat, what's your under the radar this week?
Mine was Spider-Woman. I feel like it's a book that people besides us don't talk about enough. I do feel like this arc was a little long, and I still didn't really like the beginning of it, but I liked where it ended off, and I'm excited for the future of where the book's gonna go.
Yeah, the ending scenes were the best part of this issue for me. I couldn't care less about her battling Octavia anymore. I was tired.
There's some good dialogue, it was well written. It just I was tired of the plot, and I honestly didn't care about that plot to begin with. So to have so many issues about it, I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
I mean, that probably would have been I didn't have it under the radar, but that probably would have if you didn't chose it. Because I thought that it had some good moments in there with Carol. I thought that was kind of cool how they, mended their relationship a little bit, because, there were some things said that, when she was under the influence of that drug, obviously she didn't mean to say, but, it really hurt Carol. So that was tough. And then I love the end of that with the little, she gives her son the Jeff the Land Shark stuffed animal. I thought that was really cool.
That was cute. Yeah.
And the whole suit thing as she throws it out, kind of like the classic Spider-Man, when she throws out the suit, but then instead of leaving it behind, she grabs it back, so it's cool. And then we're going to start new again with issue 11.
Yeah. I love that she grabbed it back, because we've never seen that. It's always some version of in the trash can it goes.
Yep, exactly.
And it made her butt look good. That's why she kept it.
So funny.
All right, so Mike said he doesn't have an under the radar, so that was our under the radar this week. Going to Mike now with the top 5 and big books.
That's right, guys. It's time for that top 5 big books of the week, and we got some big ones this week. And just a reminder, there are spoilers, so we're going to be talking about everything that's happening in these titles. So if for some reason you haven't read your books yet, you're just gonna have to come read them real quick and then come back and watch the rest of this show, because this show goes on for about 2 hours. You might actually get them done by the time this show is over.
You might, depending how big your pile is.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's get started this week, shall we? So let me switch over the doc here, and like I said, switch over the doc. There we go. Oh, we're going to start it off with this one, are we? Justice League issue 59. This is the long-awaited Justice League issue we've been waiting for. Brian Michael Bendis is going to redeem himself and bring us the Justice League book that we've been clamoring for years and years. Did it deliver, everybody?
I could have waited another couple of months.
Well, did anything happen in this issue?
No.
The artwork looked cool.
Oh, well, Bendis did pat himself on the back about Superman and Clark Kent. He did do that.
I don't know if it was all bad, but it all wasn't good either. It was just like
Black Adam. Poor Black Adam looking back. I want to be part of the cool boys in the Justice League.
There was the introduction of a villain who's bringing bringing back up next time, and that whole thing.
Who's the villain, Brad?
I don't know what his name is. He's a new person.
He's a new person, right? That's gonna.
Do we want to see the same old? I enjoyed it more than you guys. I agree that not much happened, and that whole speech with Green Arrow was just like, oh my god, just
I felt like Superman.
beat me over the head with that. But yeah, I didn't think it was that bad. Now the backup story, I don't think I even read.
I didn't read
it
it
either.
I didn't read it.
Yeah.
Nobody read it. There we go.
I didn't mind it either. I don't think I can make a complete judge. I can't make a judgment off of one issue. We know how Brian Michael Bendis writes. My thing with this is that, yeah, we got another new character. We don't know what he is really. We just know that he thought he could do things on his own, and that was completely wrong when he fought the Justice League. I thought Dave Marquez's artwork was adequate for this. I don't think this is his finest work, but I do think it was good.
There wasn't much to make it his finest work. There's some action sequences. There wasn't a lot of emotional beats. It was just like the ultimate setup issue.
Yeah, I thought the action scenes were really good, but just the standing around, which was, at least 75% of that story was, like you said, adequate.
And then a new supervillain who comes in and says, the Earth is going to be mine. I like it here. Mine.
I just feel like there wasn't anything there. There wasn't anything to be like, I can't wait for that next issue. There's absolutely nothing. I will say I half chopped this book. I will give the next issue a try. Maybe I'll give the issue after that a try. But at the same time, we also know how Bendis writes. Is like, yes, you have to wait a long time to get some, payoff. But at the same time, sometimes there's no payoff. Sometimes you read a book for 25 issues and absolutely nothing happens.
It'll be just what he did, like with Roll Goes R. This character's there. He wants to take over the world. And then
or Iron Man. Remember his Iron Man?
I feel like we can't criticize that because of so many new characters dropping in Batman that we get excited for. You know what I mean? It's like,
but they do something with them aesthetically.
That's
they're
true.
Different. Like even the small moments, it feels bigger. It feels like they're doing something different that I've never seen. This literally looks like a generic DC villain.
Yeah, I agree with
that. It's kind of the same character that he always does. Like Robo is basically the same thing as this Brutus dude. It's like every single character he creates, villain-wise, is always huge, ginormous, and overpowered. That's
from space.
All his characters are.
And from space, always from space.
What did I understand it right that it might be from Naomi's homeworld? Yes. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, I think that's going to be the whole arc.
That's the connection to get Naomi in the Justice League.
But at the same time, that's the only thing I'm interested in is like I like Naomi.
I love Naomi.
I think Black Adam wanting to be part of the cool kids group. I'm invested in Black Adam.
That's so out of character. It's so weird.
It was looking back and just flying away. Come on. That is not Black Adam.
No, that's Shazam.
We do have a question from BJ. I guess we could all answer this. How many comics can you read in a day? Well, it was asked to Mike, so Mike, you go first.
Depends on the day.
Oh my God. Well, if it's on a Tuesday and it's before this show, the most I have read in one day, and I wanted to shoot myself in the head by the time I was done with this, was 14 in one day. That's why I don't understand how Kat can read all the comics she does in one day.
I sometimes don't either. I would say the most I've ever read in one day, I think, is about 25.
Oh, I read an omnibus in one day.
I think I'm more. I think I'm closer to what you've done, Mike, in one day.
Because I do that every week.
Maybe like 16 or something like that. But I don't like to read that many. I tend to try to stick to like 4 or 5.
I don't like waiting. Yeah. I don't like knowing there's a comic next to me that I haven't read yet. I just want to know what happens.
When I read like that, though, like I forget things that happen.
So me too.
When you read 4 or so in a day, you can digest the information. That's why, like, when I read a comic book and I get done with it, I kind of walk away for 5 or 10 minutes to at least grasp the information that goes in and then come back and read the next one. Because again, that's how things get lost, or, you forget some of those important moments real quick, because you automatically dive into the next one. So I know it's kind of hard because of what we do, and you kind of, your time is crunched, so you have to do what you got to do sometimes. But but I like 4 or 5. That's what I
It's-
like. I'm right there with you there.
Yeah, it's funny. You remind me of a friend of mine that brought me to my first comic shop, Cat, because we would go to the comic shop on Wednesday afternoon after school, and we'd get in the car, and by the time we got back to his house, he read all his books.
Oh, I wouldn't be able to read it in the car because I might get a little dizzy. But
I know, but I'm like, I may have read one. I'm just like, no. I like to sit back and enjoy, kind of absorb it. Yeah.
I think it depends on the comic too. Like if there are books I'll say I'll read a little faster depending if I fully enjoy it or not. And that's no matter what, even if I'm binging it or not binging it. Because I a lot of times I have to read books for work, books that I'm sometimes not actually on my pull list. I'm like, all right, I gotta like get some information and read this and figure it out. So I'll read those a little quicker. But yeah, the books I love, I'll always take my time no matter what. That's kind of why I tend to read those first because I'm like, okay, I want to take my time and not rush it.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to read a comic? I think it depends on the comic, but I could get through a comic sometimes in 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
I got through TMNT in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, TMNT was a quick read. Or something like Radiant Black that was this week was a little bit longer.
You recommended it. I couldn't find issue 1, so I didn't read issue 2.
Next time, because issue 2 is good.
I kid you not, too, and it depends on the house that you live in. With me, during the day, when you got 2 kids running around, you got a dog that's always barking, wanting to go out and play, and stuff like that. Sometimes it'll take me like 25 minutes to read an issue.
Oh, man.
And then, but then on a Sunday morning, where it's like the one chill day I have, so like I literally stay in bed, and my wife like sleeps. And so I have no interruptions till about like 9:30 in the morning until I get hungry to go eat. And I'll wake up at 7 and I'll read like 2.5 hours straight of comics, which for me, I think honestly is the best because I just woke up. My mind is fresh and I can read more than, 4 or 5 comics at that time and digest everything that goes on there because again, I'm so fresh and there's no interruptions. So that's where I find I read the best.
I close off the world when I read. Wednesday, everyone knows to not talk to me. I'll listen to music all day and just like ignore the world. And
I wish I had that.
No,
definitely,
it's a lucky thing to have. But yeah, I have a room where it's kind of closed off from everybody, so I could just sit in there and no one will bother me. And
that's
kind of get it all done.
I literally have been with my kids and my dog and my wife every day since COVID started now for over a year. So I love my family, but like when they eventually go back to school and work and I have a couple of days to myself, I will be able to accomplish a lot more.
Yeah. I'll say typically the 4 to 5 that I read at a time takes me about an hour, give or take. So
it's not bad. I think it also depends. Again, it depends on the book. Like I sometimes I like rereading stuff from like Runaways. Let's say if I really like a page, and then I'll go back and be like, oh, that's a really good page. I want to reread it. So it depends on the book as well. Or if it's something I know, like Justice League. Honestly, like I'm gonna I read it quicker, not because I'm like, oh, I'm skimming it or whatever. It's just like not as interested, so I kind of read it a little quicker out of I don't even think about it. It's like okay, it's done.
Right.
All right, so there's that talk right there. So, but going back to Justice League, I'm going to continue reading it. I want to see how he continues to decompress his story even more and how he has to, like Chris said, pat himself on the back about revealing Clark Kent's identity and, and doing all the things that Bendis did for DC Comics. But will it turn out to be a good Justice League book? That's still yet to be determined. So we'll see what happens with that.
I'm going to stick around for the ride just a little bit longer because at least it's Justice League and not Superman now.
That's just more characters for him to mess up. All right, let's go forward. Let's talk about Thor issue 13. Another pretty good issue. I know me and Brant are heavily into it. Chris, you caught up with it? Yes.
Donald Blake is a bastard, man.
I hate him. For one person only, Jane Foster.
Oh,
she was
you got
in
it.
So I read it.
She bitch slapped.
She had her moments this issue. Yeah.
She did. And I will read it after that. I do like the series. I think depending if it goes back to cosmic space, I don't know if I'll keep going. But from what the Donald Blake stuff, I really did like. Even jokes aside, even not just the Jane Foster stuff. I think it was a really good arc. And this one was a solid ending. It was more of like, okay, bring the gang together to fight Donald Blake and, all, that's pretty much all it was an action issue. But I love the Jane and Odin stuff.
What'd you think of the cliffhanger, Brant?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say about Thor's soul and everything.
Oh yeah. That's. I mean, I didn't know where he was going to go. Like what he was, but that seems like the obvious choice now that you see it. Is it called the Destroyer?
Destroyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. It's like, okay, yeah, he's gonna talk about the ultimate weapon. So that's
it's like
I just
is in there now, and it's just like now it's all of them against Donald Blake.
Yeah, which is it's not looking good for Donald Blake, and just that whole thing where Odin's like, where do you think all this blood's going? You just shot yourself in the foot, kid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a good issue.
Too greedy with power. That's basically what it came down to.
Yeah. He bit off a little more than he could chew.
No pun intended.
But really good issue. That series in general has been great. I just have nothing but good things to say about
artwork. Is gorgeous.
That's why I'm disappointed.
Now they're changing the artists. Yeah.
But again, it looks like we're getting the similar artists like we saw. Right.
Yeah.
And if you get the same colorist, it's going to have that same tone, that same feel. So it's hopefully not too much has changed. You never know. You might like it better for all you know. So
from that image, it looks really good. So I'm excited for the new art.
Absolutely. All right. So then let's move on to our number 5. And Chris, I'll start it off with you. What was your number 5 this week?
I only read 5 books of Justice League. Bendis wins this round. He won't win the next one. Maybe he will. I don't know.
Brant, what was yours?
Mine was my Under the Radar Catwoman number 29.
Okay. Cat?
Mine was Iron Man issue 7.
Finish that.
Beautiful. Mine was finish. 2. It was a little slower this issue, but I liked it. I think the B team was actually the thing I liked the least, but I liked the idea of them talking about like this, what is God and what is like our religion within gods. And then you get to this world where this guy is acting like a god. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was kind of cool, but it was a little bit of a slower issue compared to some of the other ones we've gotten, but artwork is always great.
Yeah,
I agree. Like I said, this was my number 5 also. I loved the moments with Scarlet Spider and all the other characters in there, and they were talking about it was like some scientific thing or whatever it was. And
it was Scarlet Spider talking scientific, and I think they talked about Buddha, and Misty Knight started it. I think she was like, what is God even anymore? Yeah, all that. So
and they were like, oh, the what was it? The clone that's talking about about science. He's telling us how to talk about science, which is kind of funny, but it was good issue, good artwork. I loved how Patsy and Iron Man were talking to Korvac, through the mind or whatnot. I thought that was kind of cool too. I thought same thing, good issue, kind of I agree with you, Kat. It was a slower issue, and I think it's to, get to that next, climactic part in the story as well. And now Iron Man's completely missing. He's like completely somewhere else. So where does that go from here? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, or maybe Canada, but that was weird. And that was his clothing line. Are you?
Yeah.
I don't know who those were. Do we know who those people were? Because it looked like that one dude looked like Panther from the Thundercats.
I think we're not supposed to know. I don't think.
Watch out, spec book could be worth billions.
Yeah,
I don't know about that, but
it had like a stormtrooper guy with or a Boba Fett guy, and then like some reptilian dude, and
it looked like a bunch of characters from a bunch of other different properties. Yeah,
exactly. So I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to read.
I'm curious. I don't know anybody else. I don't know too many people who are reading Iron Man,
They should, because finally it feels like a flagship book.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's really good.
The writing's solid. The art is gorgeous. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. All right. So that was our number 5. Let's move on to the next book. Radiant Black issue 2. So it's a follow-up issue here. Getting to know about our main character, Nathan. Is it Nathan?
Nathan, yeah.
Nathan. Getting to know more about him, basically dealing with his powers, confronting Radiant Red, having a heart-to-heart with his dad. What did you guys think about all that happened in this issue? This is a little bit of a slower issue, but again, you're getting to learn about who this character is, and I think it helps you get more attached to him. So when things happen to him, I think you're going to feel for him a little bit.
I thought it was really, really good because it feels like the not generic superhero story, but it definitely has roots to superhero stuff that we all know and love, but it feels very different. It feels like a new voice. And even though he's very Peter Parker, you know,
Right.
the idea of like, okay, he has the money, he could steal it, and he's like, no, I'll give it back. And I like this whole entire story with the police officers and that they know his secret identity pretty much, and him trying to connect to this other red villain. I just thought it was built up very nicely and very seamlessly. I enjoyed this issue. And I like Nathan. I think he's a great character.
Yeah, when they were promoting this book, and one of the comparisons, I think it was Kurtman had actually said, if you've been missing Invincible, read this book. And
and
it was
for sure.
Yeah, the scenes would, especially with him talking to his dad and stuff like that, that really reminded me of Invincible kind of content. So you got that vibe from it. But I love the way that he confronted, you know, Radiant Red, I think is what they're calling him.
Yeah, Radiant Red.
Yeah, kind of confronted him and was just trying to get to know him and see, you know, how he got his powers and everything, and it just turns into this fight, and you know, he's learning his powers on the fly, and he realizes what a lot of superheroes don't, or we don't see them explore a lot. Oh, I should have probably learned how to do this stuff before I went and, you know, tackled another guy. And you know, all the while dealing with his dad basically giving him a hard time because he doesn't have a job. And you know, it's very human level storytelling, but with this backdrop of these superpowers that he doesn't understand. And I love the stuff with the cops too, Kat. And I thought that was kind of a cool way to go with that. And it almost makes me wonder if there's something more to it with his dad too. Like, does he know more than he's like on?
Maybe his dad knows.
Yeah.
And I think it was interesting, and what I've been liking about the series and why it feels unique is this more hyper commentary about writers, like how it feels to be a writer. And it's kind of cool that you could tell how personal this story is to Kyle Higgins, the writer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you make a good point though, Brant, about his father. Maybe his father is a Radiant somebody. Yeah, maybe he passed it down to him, or who knows, you know. But I really enjoyed the issue as well, and I think this book definitely has strong potential. It's just a fun story, and I like how it's like he gets these powers and he still doesn't know how to use them. Where in some other books they'd be like, oh, he gets these powers and all of a sudden he knows how to use them, just like that. I'm the perfect superhero and I know what to do. I love how it's going to take time for him to have that responsibility and deal with it and learn it and, you know, do the right thing. You know, it's kind of like Kat said, it's like a Spider-Man comic, you know, it's there, but it's kind of a fresh take on it at the same time. Yeah.
And I love like the little references too. Like he threw in a Ghostbusters reference in this issue. He wakes up floating in the air and he's like, did somebody call the Keymaster? You know, is that whole
at least they didn't use the default "don't cross the streams" one that everybody uses.
Yeah. So I think you'd really like this book, Chris. That's why
I have to read it. Yeah, I'm gonna read both. I gotta read both. What company makes this one? Image. Okay, I know where to go later tonight.
All right. So let's talk about another book that was kind of a, hey, you got to buy the other book that's coming out. And King in Black Spider-Man issue 1. As
a Staten Islander, there was a lot of references to it.
Yeah, there was. It's all the way over there.
It also didn't make sense. So they went on the Staten Island ferry and they're like, we need to get a ticket. We need to pay. Staten Island ferry is free. What ticket?
Maybe not in the Marvel universe. Maybe New York is
not.
In reality, you don't have to pay for that ferry, everyone.
No, yeah, in reality, go on that free ferry.
Yes, it's free. Or, you could, show up and if I'm on there, you can pay me for riding the ferry.
Yeah, why not? Get a ticket.
Pay me or Kat for riding the ferry. There you go.
So when you opened up that book, the last thing I expected to see was Reptile in there, and them to promote the Reptile issue 1 book. I was like, really? Like, come on, guys.
That's why I
King in Black
closed it.
tie-in, and this is what you're going to do. But at the same time, I did understand. I did like how Reptile actually went to Staten Island or whatnot and went to seek out Spider-Man, and he wanted to learn from the best. And I thought that was kind of a cool story in that way. As a King in Black tie-in, I thought it was the stupidest tie-in. You could have done anything possible, but it was just like anything else. It's a symbiotic dragon attacking the fairy, had nothing to do with Null. Like, when did Spider-Man fit this in, right? So it was so ridiculous. And it's like, out of all the characters, Spider-Man, excuse me, I hit my mic. Spider-Man should have been the one to be in a King in Black tie-in. He's the closest one to Eddie Brock, and he's not even in a major tie-in. Such a joke. But as an issue, promoting how great of a Spider-Man is, I thought it was cool that way.
I agree with you that having the time to just sulk and worry about, causing this whole problem and kind of contemplating it, just walking through the streets, talking to himself about it, was like, okay, sure, he's just going to leave all of that and kind of go off on his own and do that thing. But I agree with you, though. I like the way Reptile was handled. And
do you want to get Reptile issue 1 after this?
I probably will get issue 1. I don't know if I'll get issue 2.
Yeah, I don't know about issue 2. I was going to get it before this.
One.
This didn't convince me. I want to get it less, because they tried to sell me Reptile, but I was like, okay, it's a teen hero. I'm going to try Reptile issue 1. But the artwork was really good.
Variant? Will there be a Scotty Young variant?
I don't know, actually.
I don't know.
If there is, I'll get that.
I'm just curious, like, why he has a miniseries. Like, I just need to know. I need to read that first issue. But yeah, the artwork for this was really solid, though. I enjoyed that. And, like, if you're a Spider-Man fan, it was a fine read. You do not need to pick this up, but
no,
but it also wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. I enjoyed it for what it was.
No, yeah, you could have done any other story. It didn't have to have a King in Black tie-in title to it, right?
Yeah.
And the only reason why I think they did that was because they were probably like, let's just throw Spider-Man on the cover, let's put the King in Black logo on it, and let's get everyone excited for it. Because if we put Reptile on the cover,
it was really King in Black Reptile. Yeah,
I said this in my video too. I said, well, what if this could have been a Marvel team up? Yeah. The Amazing Spider-Man with Reptile. It could have done the same exact thing.
Honestly, you could have put any character in the place of Reptile in this story. That's any younger character.
Yeah, you could have.
And that's why I agree with you, Kat, that it's like I don't really get a sense of who Reptile is through this. It was a fun and fine story, but at the same time, it's like, I could see him as one of the many Champions characters. Yeah. So
I also don't think it's the same writer. Well, actually, I know it's not the same writer who's writing the series in this. So it's just like, if you were gonna do this, at least make it the same writer who's writing the mini.
Jeff McKay wrote this book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, McKay wrote it, and then Terry, I forget his last name, is writing Reptile. So and he's this is his first Marvel book as well, which is going to be interesting to see. We do have a question for SM. I know I wrote it in the chat, but it makes me sound lazy, so I'm just gonna write it. It's like Fall Like Daughter issue 7 on sale. Yeah, it needs to go on the site. I mean, these guys know how crazy the past couple of weeks have been for me with different assignments and different projects going on right now. But if you want the issue, just DM me. I literally have it. Or, I mean, if you want to back up the Dancer Kickstarter, I know you're not as fond as to Kickstarter. But if you wanted to just get through that, you could put money into the Kickstarter, and I literally will send it to you. Instead of the Dancer, I'll send you like Fall Like Daughter, like right away. Remember,
it's on sale, not sold out.
Yeah.
I just saw on sale, and I'm like, does he mean on sold out yet? I mean, what?
It is on sale. It will be on the Etsy store at some point. But yeah, that's why it hasn't been on the Etsy store, because it takes a little time to put it on there, and sometimes you got to find time, and time does not exist sometimes.
Never. I skimmed the Spider-Man book for King in Black. That's why I'm not counting it as a book I read, because I skimmed it. I thought the art was great. I just knew I wasn't gonna want to read it after I saw it.
Well, do you know what I think that Reptile could be good for? I think Reptile could be good for a younger audience.
Thank you. Yes.
Someone that's looking to get their kids into comic books. And this could be the character that actually does that. Again, we got to continue to reach that younger audience to pass these books along. Otherwise, there won't be a younger audience to read comic books. And then you're going to see comic books sales drop even more than what they are. And that's not going to be a good thing. So we, the companies need to do something.
Especially Marvel, because they don't have Ms. Marvel anymore, which just kind of blows my mind. They don't have Spider-Gwen anymore. Huh?
Aren't they doing that with IDW? Kind of like they are, but
it's not even in the Marvel line though. So I mean, I'm sure kids will find it, but it's just like, and then at least DC. One thing I'll say about them is that they do have the graphic novel, so I believe they're definitely reaching a lot of kids that way, because kids will go to Barnes and Noble or be on Amazon and be like, oh, that looks cool. So I do think Marvel needs to do a better job at, and they used to. They've done a good job. SM down. Just to answer him, I don't know how to DM you because you have no posts on Instagram, so it doesn't give me a DM option. I'll just give you my email. Here's my email to everybody in the chat. Don't email me anything crazy.
Twitter.
I don't know if he has one, but here's my email.
He does.
Twitter.
SM Down's on Twitter.
Oh.
I'm almost positive.
Well, if you're on Twitter, I do have the DM option there, because Instagram is just a crazy place. I don't get it.
Instagram is dumb for DMs. No offense. I don't like the DMs on there.
I get these notifications. I'm like, oh, you just liked my story? I'm like, what?
Yeah, no.
It took me forever to figure out where the DMs were on Instagram.
I've ignored so many people on Instagram by accident. And I was like, oh, that was like 10 months ago. And
That's
I'm like, why
too.
would I? I'm sorry I didn't answer you.
My friends sent me so many pictures, and it's like, I didn't know you sent this.
Yeah, it's like you have to like slide past a post to get to your message.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah.
I love Instagram, but their DMs suck.
Yeah, agreed.
And also their algorithm used to be so much better than it used to be. So I'm just like, I also don't care about Instagram. You have to now, and I know we're on a side tangent, we'll get back. But now you have to instead of like things, you have to save their posts. That's how the algorithm works now.
Really?
The likes is the least thing that matters now.
I did not realize that.
And this is why I'm enjoying TikTok, because once you like something, the algorithm goes to what you like.
Let's not go into all this. Let's go for it.
That was good. I wasn't going to go any further than that.
Here we go.
The people want to know.
People want to know
about TikTok. Here we go. Let's move on now. We're on what, number 4?
4, yeah.
All right, Chris, go for it.
My number 4 was Thor.
Okay, cool.
Mine was too. That was my number 4.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Brant?
Mine was Erratic, number 4.
Really?
Oh, man. Blonde girl.
Hey, blonde girl did more.
Her
She
name
did more.
is Kristen Smith.
What's her name?
Kristen
Smith.
Really
Kristen
Yes.
Smith.
She'll
Wow.
always be blonde girl to me.
That's funny. I went to grade school with a Kristen Smith, I think.
Oh, now you know.
And she was blonde.
I went to high school with a girl named Kirsten Smith.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was she also blonde?
Yeah, she was blonde too.
There you go.
So if you're blonde, your name is Kristen from now on.
We're all connected to this girl now. Yeah. But no, I liked the fight. I liked her not being the one to take action and knock the girl out and save Erratic.
But it also feels generic. I feel like, oh, girl power means you get one punch and now you have character. It's like, that doesn't mean you're a character because you punched somebody. But I did like she punched somebody. But give me more blonde girl. Give me more Kristen Smith.
I thought it was, I agree. I thought it was hilarious how the mom just showed up with a new dude. It was just like, hey, everybody, this is John. It's like, and then and
they're all okay with it. Oh, I hope you can take me to school tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope you can take me to school tomorrow. I sold my car, but I'm not going to tell you that. But
where do all these things come from?
I agree. They come from nowhere.
That's the beauty of it, though. It's like just it's random.
That's what it is. The character showed up random.
It's all erratic.
Exactly.
It is erratic.
Right. And that's why I was going to say that. I was going to say the exact same thing, Brand, today. That's why that book is called Erratic, because as a reader, it's erratic. It's all over the place. And it's crazy. But I was kind of like, I was thinking of Kat, and I'm like, oh, Kat's not going to be happy with this book at all. Because I read, this was one of the last books I read. I read this today. And I'm just like, who's this real girl in this robot thing that just shows up? And this was the problem with everything that's been happening in these past few issues. She just shows up out of the blue. There she is. And then one punch, she's dead from a freaking from a little girl. Like
a blonde girl.
Yeah.
What does she have to prove? You know, like if blonde girl did some martial arts, she like did stuff. I kept thinking she had powers. I thought that's why she's here. But no, she's just the love interest and she gets to punch someone. I'm like, but I also don't like the main character. I don't like anyone in this book, but I want to love them.
Erratic. How does he able now to use half his charge? Like it's supposed to be.
It's the suit, right? Like it somehow channels it or something.
I don't know. I thought that was pretty bad too. I'm like, it's only supposed to be once a day, and just out of the blue now you can use it half your power when you wanted to. The whole thing was about being erratic.
I'll tell you, if they have another volume, I don't think I'm picking it up. Like I'll finish this volume. I don't think I could get a volume 2 of this book.
I probably will. I'm still enjoying it. It was a lot of fun. So, I mean, I get the complaints. I understand. And I wish there was a little more character development with her and some of the other supporting characters. But I like his family. I like what they're doing there. It's just I don't know. It needs more space to grow, I think.
I agree. It needs to breathe. There's just too much that goes into it. And so if they do a second volume, hopefully they will,
or it becomes an ongoing, and they have that.
Yeah, I would love to see. This book should be an ongoing. There's too many characters. Like the principal just randomly just sits there and uses his mind control powers to control people. It's just so random. It's just weird. And yet she's not affected by it, though. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Not affected by mind control.
There may still be something there.
Maybe. Well, the last issue will grab me and be like, gotta get issue 2. Serenity says she's a girl with blonde hair. Isn't that special enough? Yes, it is special enough. But she might need a little personality.
Yeah, she needs that.
She's an influencer, Kat.
She's an inconsistent influencer. She's just like, I want to be a social media star. Let me film everybody. Never mind. I guess I won't. It's just like, what are you thinking? I don't get her. She's the most
star now, though, man. She got hundreds of thousands of hits there.
She's probably one of the most inconsistent comic book characters I've ever read in my life.
Oh man, that's funny. All right, so that was Brand's. That was your number 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 4 was a book we already talked about, Radiant Black. So really enjoyed that issue. Okay, so let's move on, guys. Let's talk about X-Force issue 18. Brant and I read this book. So what did you think about this part when it came to the Quentin Quire story?
I was a little bored by this issue.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, okay, so it wasn't just me. Excuse me. It was just... I don't know what it was about this issue that it just didn't grab me. There wasn't a whole lot going on. There was a lot of introspection, right?
Him within himself, like dealing with the inner demon.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And trying to, come to terms with all that. And that's what basically the whole issue was about. And
I thought the artwork was off too, didn't you?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and it wasn't just him. It was like other characters being affected by it too. Like Beast, like everybody was having dreams or something like that.
Yeah, and they had this scene where it was like Jean and Wolverine were going to hook up, and then all of a sudden,
oh my god!
Right? They kissed, and then here comes Cyclops, and Cyclops is like, "Hey,
he's like, you ready to go to bed, Jean?" What?
I'm like, what's that?
They just confirmed that there's a
threesome going on.
Yeah, there's a threesome going on. Yeah. I mean, we all like, they teased it like early on in this run, but that was like full on. Okay, Gene's dating both of them at the very least. So
absolutely, yeah. There's more than dating going on there. Yeah. So that was an okay issue. Not nothing to really talk about that much.
Right.
So all right. So let's move on to. And where is Chris back, or is he not here?
He said he was gonna come back. He said he was gonna be back. So
okay. So we have Nightwing issue 78 to talk about.
I'm here.
Oh, he's back. Oh, yeah, right when we go to
Nightwing, he's like, Nightwing, I gotta talk about Nightwing.
All right. So Nightwing, this was the long-awaited issue 78. Tom Taylor writing this book. We are huge fans of Tom Taylor. Mostly everything that he's ever written has been phenomenal. We've liked when it's come to Injustice.
I don't care.
Superior Iron Man. What else has he written as of late? Deceased. There's anything that he has ever written, he draws a lot of character emotion, and he makes you really care about the particular character, right? So when I read this, I'm like, I can see that emotion happening right here in Nightwing. I could see it, especially if Barbara's going to be in this issue as well. And what does this first issue do? It delivers on all levels when it comes to emotion. And by the time you were done reading it, you're like, holy shit, Alfred's a billionaire. And now who's the rich one in the Bat family? Well, it's flipping Dick Grayson, and that's pretty badass.
I hope Batman comes to ask for some money.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Dick, can I borrow a Billy?
But good issue overall. I mean, him reading that letter was amazing.
So good.
And this is something that this character lacked for all this time that he had this amnesia. And
maybe since Kyle Higgins, I would say, because I liked Kyle Higgins' Nightwing. I would say since then we haven't had a good Nightwing run.
Right. So this is a start of something really good. I love Barbara in the book as well. Him adopting or hopefully adopts this dog.
That dog. He owns it. Barbara told him he has it.
Already done.
Yeah. So that was pretty neat too. I mean, all of the whole thing is just a promising start.
I was gonna joke that I hated the book, and I couldn't even front. I couldn't even front. It was just like, no, I can't do it. It was so good, man. I've wanted to like Nightwing for so long, and this was the version of Nightwing I never knew I wanted, and I absolutely loved it. It was I loved Barbara in this. I loved like their first meeting, and like, you live in a castle, do you have a moat? It's just hilarious. And then I mean, the emotions were all over the place. That letter, just that whole thing was like, wow.
It was just such a good first issue. It was because it went from the emotions to, but also setting up your story, because you have the flying Grayson,
Zuko's daughter.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's really interesting. You do have Barbara's introduced. You have the whole Alfred stuff. They fit so much in this first issue, but didn't forget about emotion. This is how you do a first issue, guys. This is how you do it.
Paced so well. You didn't feel like you were taking in that much information. But
I'm so glad I started picking Nightwing up physically again. Tom Taylor. I was gonna joke and say I hate Nightwing, and I'm just wearing the shirt for no reason. Nightwing's a horrible book. It was terrible. That letter from Alfred, I mean, the feels in that part alone were just like, forget it. You got me, Tom. You got me. I'm hooked. Yeah. I'm just so happy to see Nightwing back. I'm happy we're done with the amnesia thing. And Barbara was in it. I mean, you got
the art was good too. Let's not forget about that.
The flashback at the beginning.
Oh yeah,
the flashback at the very beginning where he protected Barbara as a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just no. Oh,
I would have loved to see a whole story when they were kids.
Yeah, me too.
That would have been that would be a great book right there.
And Barbara getting into the fight too. I love
that.
Yeah. And like, Dad, what do you think, Dad?
Like, that was so close to being in my panels. I knew you guys had a lot of Nightwing, so I was like, okay, if I don't have Nightwing, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I cut like 3 Nightwing panels from mine. It's like,
that was me hard. Too. Yeah, it was the same. Yeah,
I can't believe Alfred was. Well, it makes sense that Alfred's.
It totally makes sense.
He never really.
He worked for a billionaire for years and never spent any of the money.
He was also part of a secret. I mean, a long time ago, before he became he worked for the for, I think, what was it, England or somewhere. He was like a special agent.
Right. Yeah.
But this is the way to do a story, right? I mean, it's just all the way around. It's really good. I'm excited for it. Nightwing's back, man. This is it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think it's just going to get better from here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And bringing Alfred back, like even though Alfred is dead, you still obviously felt like Alfred was there, right? So
Yeah.
it's a way to do it somehow.
Yeah.
You know, somehow we gotta keep Alfred alive. We can't forget that character.
Yeah.
So good stuff there. All right, so let's move on to number 3. So Brant, what was your number 3 this week?
Mine was Thor. We already talked about it.
All right, Kat,
Radiant Black, where we talked about it.
Chris.
Superman Red and Blue #1.
Oh
I
boy.
broke the trend. I liked it. Look, I read 5 books this week, and Superman was good. They were nice mini stories. I liked the one. I liked the very first one where he was Clark Kent, and he has like all this internal dialogue about having his powers and what he'd love to do, but what he couldn't do. And then there was a story where the boy he tried to save who lost his hand, but he wanted Superman to save his people more. There were so many stories in it, but it was really, really good. This is a mini, right? It's not a one shot.
I think it's a mini series.
Mini-series.
I believe
I think
it's
it's
a
like
mini.
Batman Black and White. I think that's what
Okay,
it is.
bunch
Yeah.
A bunch of
That's
mini
what
stories.
this is about. It's like Wonder Woman, what is it, black and white or gold?
Black
or
and
whatever.
gold, I
Yeah.
Black and gold.
Okay, so
It's
now
this
Superman
all
Red and
follows in
Blue.
that same thing.
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I was the first book I read, so I read it last week, so I can't remember all the stories, but it was a nice compilation of Superman stories. One of them I didn't like, the black and white one. I felt the art was very like missing almost. But otherwise, I enjoyed the book a lot.
Okay, cool. Good.
Cool.
All right, and mine was Spider-Woman issue 10, and we already talked about that as well. So let's move forward. We talked about Iron Man issue 7. Let's talk about, well, we don't have to really talk. Brant, did you read
I did
Transformers?
not even
Oh, I
get
thought
it.
you did. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll take it off the list.
Yeah.
I forgot to remove it until right before the show. Sorry about that.
So I read it. It was very predictable until the very last page. So you get the Autobots that win at the end of the day, right? And you're kind of like, oh, really? I'm like, I thought there was one more issue to go, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end, I'm going to show you the last page because I'm sure you don't care. And this was my least favorite book of the week, but still, I'll show you the last page. The last thing that they're going to have to fight is the Decepticon clock tower.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness.
And so, because they got to fight the Decepticon clock tower, I'm like, I got to finish this now.
They just have to get up to what? How many miles per hour?
88 miles per hour.
88 miles per hour. They'll knock it out. Yeah. Oh, wow.
The issue
Yeah.
itself was horrible. It was
Yeah.
not good
It wasn't.
at all. And being like, the first issue was great.
Yeah.
The second issue was and then it took so long for this issue to come out. I'm like, it totally like lost its steam. Like I was debating about buying it, and then I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll just buy it because I'm already halfway through the story anyway.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm reading it, and I'm like, man, I shouldn't have bought this book. And then I got to that page, and I'm like, okay, it made it worthwhile buying it now.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I bought Catwoman instead for some reason.
Hey, it paid off for you then.
Yeah.
All right. So there's that. So at least we got a good laugh out of it. All right. So let's move on to number 2. Kat, what was your number 2?
Mine was Captain Marvel, issue 27. I really enjoyed this issue a lot. It was, I mean, I think a lot of us know what our number 1s are going to be, but it was actually almost like next to that book we all know number 1's going to be. I enjoyed this because I really enjoyed it. I like the whole entire analogy of her alcohol, her addiction.
Yeah.
Her alcoholism. So I thought that was really interesting. I just had a fun time with it. I thought the jokes landed for me. I really enjoyed this one. It was a nice change of pace from the last arc.
It was fun. It wasn't what I expected at all, and I think that's what brought it down for me a little bit. And the art I did not like at all.
Me either.
The art I didn't mind. I mean, the Captain Marvel Doctor Strange thing, it was just crazy enough to work for me.
that was different. I like the way that ended though. It was like mistakes were made, then it was like, yeah, we're gonna hook up again. So
we're gonna continue this.
Why not?
I liked it. That was a rebound. I don't know. I just really enjoyed this story.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun, like I said, it was a fun, girls' night out, speed dating, all that stuff. But it just, and I guess it was good to have like a wind down thing after such a heavy, couple of arcs.
Yeah.
But it still was a heavy issue too, because it's still her dealing with, oh, do I get that drink? Do I not? And I like that her addiction turned to her crime fighting or her doing other things. Like she had to like put it in somewhere else.
Yeah, for sure.
This was too much for me. It was just too much. Like it was just like there was a lot to this issue to take in, and whether it was the addiction or her dealing with her situation, and then the whole thing with Doctor Strange, and the artwork really turned me off. I wasn't a fan of the facial expressions. The hair looked stringy at certain situations. Like I just didn't like it. And the Doctor Strange, I guess, like, listen, it's a rebound. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. I know she's dealing with the breakup of Rhodey. That's obviously was the big thing in this issue as well. So this is the next guy that she's hooking up with. But I was just kind of like,
she'll be back with Rhodey.
I think it was a little bit too much for me. Too much of an issue. By the time I got done with it, I was like, okay, finally, this is over. I'm like, this was a long ass issue.
I wanted more.
I did not.
I don't know what's going on.
I did not want more.
I don't know what's going on in the issue. I just feel bad Rhodey and her broke up.
Well,
I think you should read it.
Yeah.
She'll get back with Rhodey. Rebound relationships never work. Especially in comics.
So she went to the future, Chris, and she found out in the future that Rhodey had a child with someone else. And if she stayed with Rhodey, that child would never be born, so she couldn't handle that, so she dumped him.
Right.
Yeah. I've been enjoying that arc. I feel like there's never any consequences to seeing the future. So I think it's kind of cool they're doing that.
What?
Yeah.
Why would you? Okay, look. You know what? I don't even care. Okay.
Read Captain Marvel.
No, I'm good. I think that's okay.
Kelly
Captain Marvel's a pretty good series, though.
It is a pretty good series.
I have the one issue, the first appearance of Star, graded at a 9.8. I'm good.
But it was like all that. It's gotten even better. The book, I feel like from the beginning wasn't great for me, and then like it really picked up.
Oh, I agree.
Right.
I agree.
Black Widow is better than.
Yeah, no, Black Widow is better than Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Black Widow is tremendous. That's like no par, but it's still, this is a really fun book, and pick up anything Kelly Thompson writes because it's really good.
It's the best Captain Marvel that I've read in a very long time. I'll say.
This is why no one should know the future. So you stay together. See,
don't exactly.
Never.
That's why.
Never.
I will say that I think it's on par to Life of Captain Marvel. I do think I like Life of Captain Marvel a little bit more, but only because it's just like it changed so much and it was, self-contained. But those are probably my favorite Captain Marvel books, like ever. It's hard to get a good Carol book.
Moral of the story: stay out of the damn future.
That is the moral of the story.
All right, Chris. Kat, you were the first one to go, right? For number 2. All right, Chris, what was yours?
Nightwing.
Wow.
Really?
You're all right.
Team and T. We had.
I mean, come on, a duh.
Yeah, but come on, Nightwing.
Nightwing was very good. I love Togon Razor being in the comic more.
Brant.
Radiant Black. That's my number 2.
Mine was Thor.
Cool.
All right. So we talked about the wonderful book of Erratic. We talked about Captain Marvel, and 3 out of the 4 of us here, our number 1 book of the week is Nightwing. That's where it's at. Right. And Chris has his turtles.
I can't believe he broke it. I thought this was gonna be the first week we all had the same
pick
of
too.
the week.
I so thought that, especially with the shirt.
Sorry. I was like, I love Nightwing, but I'm sorry. I've been away from the Turtles for months, reading my first Turtle book in months.
See, that's a biased opinion there.
Well, what is my top 5? My top 5 favorite books. The feeling was really good. Nightwing made me feel good, but Turtles made me feel better.
I think if Runaways
Nightwing
came
just
out
put
this
a
week,
real heartfelt,
Uh-huh.
it makes your heart
And
feel a little bit
Runaways would have been your number one,
You want to
Cat.
hug Nightwing and see that, like,
yes.
he's okay. He's back now, you know?
He's back. It's great. Any
I will
other
say
week would have been my number one.
I will say if Power Pack came out this week, I think Nightwing still would have been my number one. But
not
Runaways.
Runaways.
No, Runaways.
There.
Runaways is number one.
Yeah. You're like, it's not even out yet, and it's already number one.
I just know it's gonna be good. So
I think no matter what came out, Nightwing would have been my number one.
Really?
I don't give 5 stars often. I gave this 5 stars. This book.
I gave this 4.5.
I gave it 5. This and TMNT both got 5.
Nightwing is not my favorite character, and I couldn't tell you if I ever read a good Nightwing book because I didn't read Nightwing. I didn't read Nightwing during the New 52.
That was
didn't miss much.
I liked the beginning part of his New 52 run.
So I don't have that much history with the character, So for me, this might be the best written Nightwing title that I have read so far. So and obviously this is better than freaking Spider-Man book that came out this week, So
you mean Reptile with Spider-Man scotch taped over it?
Yeah, what competition was? I mean, again, nothing against that Spider-Man issue, but I mean, Spider-Man has not been on par for a little while, so there hasn't been a great Spider-Man issue in a while. So although Chip Zdarsky is writing a Spider-Man miniseries, and I'm ready for Chip Zdarsky's Spider-Man, so I'm fine with that. It's gonna be that Venom miniseries.
Oh yeah. It's like, what if he was? Yeah, if he became Venom. That's basically.
I'm excited for that.
Yes,
that looks like it's gonna be pretty cool.
Because I don't care if Vanilla Ice is in a comic book. What the hell do I care about a rapper showing up in a comic book?
He'll pick up TMNT as much as I'll pick up Runaways. It doesn't matter unless they like. I think the only time I wouldn't pick up Runaways is like if they like. I don't even know. I would always pick it up. It doesn't matter. Like even if they weren't my favorite character, I'd still pick it up.
I mean, they tried to kill Donnie and they killed Splinter, and I'm still reading TMNT. So I mean,
Splinter's gonna come back to life.
Yeah, of course he is.
He'll be reincarnated or something. That's the way it goes. All right, so we're done with the top 5. So Chris, you have a very light job this week.
Yeah, the
chopping block.
The chop block. I think it's just me and Kat, correct? Brent, Mike, no books?
Nope.
Me and Kat both agree. What is it, Kat?
Justice League. I'm half chopping it. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't want to read it.
You gotta pick it up.
I'm gonna pick it up.
I'll pick up the next issue.
Read the first story arc.
I'm the half chop.
That's so long.
You know that the first story arc is going to be only 24 issues.
Maybe I'll get it digitally. I don't know if I'll be getting it physically, but
I'm not getting it physically. I'm getting it all digital. No, it's okay. If it surprises me, I'll get the graphic novel. So that's the chop block.
Yep.
The only reason I'll say that I want to continue Justice League is because I like Naomi, and I know a lot of the stuff that's going to happen in Naomi season 2 has to do with this stuff. I'm like, I don't want to be lost.
Right. Yeah. Same.
I don't read.
Naomi goes, why can't Bendis go back to Marvel? Marvel doesn't want him. I don't.
Marvel doesn't want him. He's a free agent.
What's he going to do over there? What he needs to do is he just needs to write his own stuff. That's what he needs to do.
I would love to see him do more indie stuff. Yeah. I know he has, but I feel like just focusing on indies would be really cool.
There's no rules there. You can do whatever you want. You can tell the longest story possible. Indie stories are perfect for that because if you have a definitive ending, if you know your story is going to end at issue 80, that's okay. That's fine. But when it comes to a story like Justice League, people don't want to read the same story arc for 35 issues and then all you get is Naomi showing up at the end of the book somehow. Like, oh, look, Naomi came out and it took her 35 issues to get here. Here it only took 1, but still.
We're going to Brent with our most anticipated.
Yeah.
I'm getting 7 books this week.
I don't know how
crazy.
Right. Well, let's talk about some of those maybe. Let's start with cable number 9 because I know you're getting that.
I'm getting it. I'm curious to see how it ends. I've liked Cable, but I feel like It could have been more than what it was, but
It
Is that
could-
the last issue?
Yep.
I think there's like, is that the last issue? I thought
think
there
so.
was
I thought it was 11.
Was it 11?
I think there's
maybe I'm
We're all
two
wrong.
more.
9, 12.
It was always gonna be a mini.
Honestly, I just want to see the Cuckoos and like how that all ends up. Like, are they gonna all still be in a relationship with Cable by the end of the series?
Oh, that polygamy, gotta love it.
Phoebe. It cannot
Technically,
be
they're all the
Phoebe.
same. Though. Is it
She's dating
polygamy?
Quentin.
That's true.
Yeah, is it polygamy if technically they're all the same woman?
Then no, I guess not.
I
I
don't
know.
know.
I feel like
It's so
they're more.
hard.
I feel
They
like
have
they're
their
more
own
like identical.
personalities.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
like
they
identical
do.
twins. Like
Yeah.
it's polygamy if you date identical twins. So
I mean-
yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, it's polygamy. Yeah, okay.
But one of them's with Quentin now.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Only
yeah, so it's
one.
polygamy.
Only
So
one.
there's two more. No, there's two. How many cuckoos are
There's
there? 5?
There were
Or
5,
are
but
they
now there's only 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It's still polygamy. There's 2, so it's a threesome. There you go. It's polygamy.
okay.
Why? Never mind. Why not even?
You started this.
I know. I
started
don't
the
know why I
conversation.
started this stupid topic. Never mind.
Okay, moving on. Action Comics 1029.
Yes, the new Superman, not Bendis. I'm good.
That's all you got to say. Okay,
I'm
we'll
looking
move
forward
on
to
from
the
that.
story. It's not Bendis. Go Superman, go.
All right.
Woo! Nobody else is
I-
reading it. Really? Nobody's gonna try it.
Nope.
No.
I
Y'all
am not
just hate
reading
Superman.
Superman until I hear
It's
other
amazing.
people besides you
Yeah.
say that it's good.
I didn't say it was good yet. I don't know.
Other people, even if you do, you got to hear it from other people. That's what Mike said.
You know what I want for Superman? I want.
Fine. That's fine. Okay.
I know that you like Superman.
You
so
love
much
Superman.
that-
I love Superman.
Yeah. So I need to hear other people say that, you know what, Superman's worth a try. You know, people that are not so passionate about the character.
I want
Like
a
that's
Nightwing
like me
relook.
reading Spider-Man, right? It's just
Hmm.
like
Well,
saying, "Oh, Spencer's off of it. It's going to be good no matter what."
I feel like you're gonna always be honest with your Spider-Man. You don't usually keep your bias in Spider-Man too
I've
much.
been honest with
Right.
Superman. I hated the Bendis run. I stopped reading it.
That's true. Oh, Chris is always honest with it, but the thing is, after you've had Bendis, you're like, oh my god, anything's gonna be good.
No,
after
Yeah,
that.
I
exactly.
didn't give Did I give Superman number 1? No, I didn't give it number 1. Superman.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
So I mean, I didn't throw it on a pedestal. It was okay, but I mean, wasn't.
But you were excited about it going in.
I
That's
was,
the point.
and I'm
You're
excited
also-
for action. Now we'll see.
You're
what
also a
happens.
super fan of the characters, so I really don't love Superman. So I feel like if they get the Nightwing revamp, tell a really different story, but like in the even an Injustice revamp, I really liked what they did with him in Injustice: Gods Among Us, like something different.
Who's writing it? I don't remember.
Philip Kennedy Johnson, who's doing
Okay,
Aliens as
yeah.
well.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that then. That's also on our list, Aliens, and I think Chris, you're the only one that marked that one
Of
too.
course I am. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it because why not? And one of the news pieces that didn't make it was Predators getting an ongoing. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why. But Aliens is one of my favorites. So, I mean, I'm going to try it.
I'm trying
Well, because-
to. I'm just not anticipating it that much.
Because they did Star Wars, which
Why
Star
not?
Wars had. They
Nah.
did. They
Yeah,
did
why not?
Alien. Now they're doing Predator.
Yeah, why not?
So they're
They
just
gotta-
going to take every. Yeah.
You might as well
Oh.
just rebrand them all, buy out Dark Horse, and just have a new imprint.
Marvel Dark Horse.
Marvel Dark Horse. There you go.
Yeah. No, I mean they're money making franchises. Why not do it if you own it?
Mickey
Um,
owns Alien and Predator.
It is a little weird. Stray Dogs #2. Mike and I really enjoyed this first issue. I'm excited for the second one too. So
Yeah, I want to see these dogs solve this murder mystery.
yeah,
And
if
how
they can
dark-
remember it,
Yeah, and how dark this actually gets. Like,
right?
you know, or did this guy even do it? You know what I'm saying? It could be anything. Because again, we don't know what's going through these dogs' minds and what they're thinking and things like that. So, but I just want to see that awesome artwork again. It's so beautiful inside.
Yeah, it's such a weird concept that I love it because it's like possibly a serial killer is just stealing everybody's dogs and they all look like Disney dogs.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
Exactly. Oh, and maybe, I don't know, but my cookie could be in the issue.
That's true. You gotta
Oh
say.
yeah. I forgot to send Trixie in, but yeah.
I should send my cookie in.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Let's see what else. We got Carnage, Black, White, and Blood, issue 1.
I didn't mark that, but sounds interesting. I might.
I'm
Try
mainly buying it, hopefully for a cool variant cover.
That's what I'm gonna look for.
But those stories could be fun to read. Carnage is always a cool character to read up on, and it could be a good one.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Firefly, a brand new verse. It's set 20 years after the events of Firefly and Serenity and everything. So I'm excited to explore new ground in this world, and the art looks really cool too. So just wanted to mention that real quick. Let's see, we got Amazing Spider-Man 62. I was
gonna say I'm not anticipating it, but
no, I really like.
Issue?
Yeah, it was in my top 5.
Did.
Yeah, I really liked the last issue. We disagreed vehemently about it. Remember?
We did. I don't even know what's happening in this issue, so I guess we'll see.
I'm anticipating it for the comic.
Does he already have the costume?
Yeah, he already has the costume.
He's using it for money. Remember, right. I made a big deal about that.
The MeUndies or whatever.
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. It's a better arc than what we've been getting, but
yeah,
that's what happens. See, Kat doesn't remember because she read the 25 books.
That's
that day.
true. That is true.
They were gonna kill Gog. That's what it was. He was in the sights.
Yeah,
Gog and Boomerang. Yeah,
that wasn't a horrible cliffhanger, but also like, oh man, all right, whatever.
I just liked that was the fun part of Nick Spencer's run, I thought, with Boomerang and the supporting cast. So I'm just happy to have that back.
I want to see though now like the ramifications of this suit, okay? Because already now he realized, oh shit, what did I do? I became this big distraction, and now the people that I care about the most are going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Hopefully he flipping learns his lesson. He's only been around since the year 1960 something, and he still doesn't know. When to make the right flipping decision. Like, when do you learn from your lessons, for crying out loud?
Never.
Like Spider-Man.
That's the Parker curse right there.
Yeah, he needs to do something. He needs to go to some superhero that can change his luck around or whatever.
Yeah. Taskmaster number 5. Is this the last issue?
This is the last.
This is the last issue. I'm so sad. These past 2 issues haven't been quite as good as the first 2, but still really good. And I just can't wait to see how it ends. And if we find out who killed Maria Hill, if anybody killed Maria Hill, does Black Widow catch?
She's not dead.
Yeah,
it's Maria Hill setting up herself.
Maybe
that's my guess.
So are we going to get another Black Widow Taskmaster confrontation? What's going to happen? I'm just excited to see how it all wraps up.
Yeah, can't wait. Maybe Hyperion comes back and they do round 2.
Yeah. All right. So we only got 2 more books to talk about. I think we got Detective Comics 1034, which is new creative team. Yeah. Excited about this one.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to Batman being back. Yep.
We actually enjoyed Dark Detective. So
yeah, exactly. So. And the last one is Teen Titans Academy, issue 1.
Yes. I saw a review for this.
Oh, don't tell me it's bad.
Don't tell me it's bad.
I didn't hear any good stuff.
See, every time you have read a review on Teen Titans Academy, it's been bad every single time.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe the review I'm reading is,
biased.
Not biased, but maybe they just didn't like. I didn't like the last Teen. I didn't like the Future State Teen Titans stuff. I know you liked a little more.
Who's in the book? Who's in the book?
I can understand because you're not getting the full.
Yeah, the full story.
Yeah,
I'm gonna read the issue 2 no matter what. But we don't know who technically is on the team. I'm guessing Nightwing will be on it.
Is this
he's in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but is there the crossover happening?
Not yet. It's gonna be like 2 issues from now.
Okay. Yeah, very soon. I know it's taking place in May, that crossover. Okay. I don't know if it starts next month or.
I'm debating if I want to get this physically or not. And it's
I would get the first issue physically because you never know. Yeah. You can never not. Yeah. You might not be able to get it again, and especially with all the Red X stuff.
About first issues, if you don't get them, and then
I'm looking for. I mean, it's got Nightwing, it's got Beast Boy, it's got Starfire. It has all those characters that you know. why, like Kat said, why not give it a try?
Yeah.
You know, again, everybody's opinion is different. We know
Right.
that. So
Yeah.
it could be, you know, Brant could hate it. I could love it. Vice versa.
Yeah.
Kat could love it. You know, we'll see what happens.
I hope
I'm-
I love it.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about it. So we'll see.
Is anyone trying Harley Quinn tomorrow? I didn't like the art, so that's why I'm not trying it.
No,
I don't know.
I'm not trying it.
I'm not trying it. Unless they got a cool variant out. That's the only way I'll try it. That's the only way I'll try it.
Of course, the
'Cause
cool
there are
variant
some
for
nice
Teen
variants
Titans.
for that book, but there's I don't know if I'll buy it if there isn't one there.
I would have liked
Yeah.
the variant for Teen Titans Academy, and it's sold out.
Or see, that's what happens. You gotta get on it. I don't even know what the variant is. I don't even know what I'm getting.
It's
tomorrow.
what's his name? The red X on his face. Why can't I remember?
I might have gotten that variant. I don't see. I never
Don't rub
remember.
it in. Don't rub
Let
it
me
in.
see. Let me look. Let me look on my list. No, I didn't get the variant for that one. I got the regular cover.
Good. Don't rub it in.
No, not rubbing it in. That
That's
was
it.
all the anticipator, right?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So we're going towards the end. So
Yeah, so that's it, guys. So
wrap
it
it
looks
up.
like we're gonna wrap up the show real quick. Anybody have any other things that they are going to promote real quick?
Same as always for me.
All right.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, you're not saying.
so I was just going to remind everybody again to check out the audio version. Drops on Friday, and if you feel so inclined, give us a review and a rating on iTunes.
I do want to mention one thing. For those of you watching on the Dark Avenger Nation on Facebook, this is going to be a new thing every week. The Dark Avenger Nation will be hosting Comic Book Weekly now as well. This is a one-time deal for me mentioning that. So look forward to live shows every Tuesday night, Comic Book Weekly on the Dark Avenger Nation Facebook group page now.
And for me, obviously, just go check out the dancer. I actually can't screen share because the Kickstarter is Kickstarter in general is under maintenance. So
Oh, is it? No,
Yeah.
I just found out who's doing the art for Harley Quinn. No, I will not be getting that.
yeah, I wasn't my thing either. It wasn't definitely not my thing. But yeah, go check out the Kickstarter. I think it's gonna be like an hour of maintenance, and then we'll be back for the website. So go check that out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
All right. And for me, guys, I have my Road to 10K X-Men giveaway still going on. Obviously, it's going all the way through until I hit 10K, and then I will pick a random video, and then I'll do a draw to see who will win the awesome X-Men prizes, which again I will show, which is the X-Men versus Avengers Fantastic Four. So you can get that. You'll get that Marvel Masterworks hardcover book, and then you'll get Kat's favorite Uncanny X-Men book of all time with Kitty Pryde on the cover. That's issue 168. So, and this video counts. If you commented it on tonight's show, this is one of the videos that I could draw from. So again, you got to make sure that you subscribe to my channel and make sure you give it a like, thumbs up, and all that other great stuff. And of course, comment, and then do that on all the other videos that this prize is offered. So that's all I have.
I love your idea, Mike. I think I'm going to do something similar for a Road to 5K on my channel, I think.
All right. Sounds like a plan. So, guys, check out all my other stuff on there and check out everyone else's stuff on their YouTube channels except Brant, because like we said before,
Brant
he
gave
doesn't
up
use
on
his
YouTube.
channel
He's done.
anymore.
He
So
quit.
that's
I
okay.
just focused on my energy here.
Yeah, he's too busy
quit.
making his comic books and helping us do Comic Book Weekly, and we appreciate that. So,
Yes.
all right, guys. So this is it. This is the end of the show. We're going to sign off for the night. So, of course, you must subscribe to either channel, Comic Book Weekly, Comic Book Corner 2.0. Of course, hit the bell on both those channels. Follow us on all the social media stuff, which is Instagram, which we talked about earlier in the show, Twitter, not on TikTok. We don't do that. Then you can give us a
I did
thumbs
that.
up. So, and of course, guys, until next week, thank you so much for watching the show.
Thumbs up.
Guys have been great. Thumbs
He
up.
said it.
I did say it. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
And-
just saw Brant doing it. I thought you missed it.
Thumbs up again. Good night, everyone. Take